everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be answering one of the questions that one of you guys left in the comments. If you comment down on my videos a question, maybe I'll make a video about it. So the question was, what was it like living with all girls, and how did it change, if it changed, my relationship with them before treatment versus after treatment? This was a really interesting question because I had never really thought of it. I guess going to a residential treatment center with all girls was just... what's the word? I guess I thought going to a residential treatment center with all girls was kind of expected. I never really thought about it any otherwise. Now, I do want to say that my thoughts on this topic are from a cisgender heterosexual female. I cannot speak for other members of this program who are of the LGBTQ plus community. And I don't want to speak for them. This is just my perspective on it. So truthfully, I actually think it was good not having guys around, for me at least. All of the other programs that I had gone to were co-ed, and I actually found them a bit distracting, especially because one of the biggest events that led me to being sent away was a breakup with my boyfriend at the time. And I feel that if I had guys around, I would have just tried to find a rebound, and it would have kept me from focusing on myself and focusing on the true issues that I needed to get to the root of. As I said before, I am a cisgender heterosexual female, so I did not find any sexual attraction to any of the girls that I was living with, and that's definitely something I'd imagine that other members may have struggled with. I'd say living with girls was actually kind of fun. Near the end of the program, like my last couple of months, there was a really great vibe going on, and we were all really good friends, and we were really supportive of one another. We got along really well, there was no tension, and I think once I even compared it to a sorority house, even though I've never lived in a sorority. But yeah, we just had a lot of fun together. Unfortunately, the residential treatment center that I went to did not let you identify as anything other than female and heterosexual. There were definitely expectations of boundaries set where sexuality was not discussed in the open or in group therapies. Now, anything went in individual therapies, so whatever members talked about in their individual therapies is none of my business. When we were all together as a group, relationships generally weren't discussed, sexuality, attraction, gender identity, none of that was really brought up. And there are pros and cons to that. Personally, I think it was an advantage for me because it would have taken my mind elsewhere on topics that did not so much affect the issues that I was dealing with, and I was more able to focus on other things. Now, we did have outings every month or two with a boys' residential treatment center that was about half an hour away, and we would do things like play softball, or what else did we do? We had a movie night. We went to... Did we go ice skating with them, or was that by... I think we went ice skating with them. We went to a corn maze, which I'll say going to the corn maze probably wasn't the best idea because there's a lot of like hidden corners. Some things went on. Now, the point of those outings was to help us set appropriate boundaries with boys. Whether it helped or not, I'm not really sure. I'm gonna not talk about this anymore. So, in my treatment center, personal hygiene and cleanliness was like way up there on importance. You gotta be clean. You gotta keep the house clean. You gotta keep your body clean. Now, I had good personal hygiene before I went, but let me tell you, I did not know how to clean a house until this treatment center. The house was cleaned at least twice a day. We had rotating chores. We would all each be assigned a different room in the house every week, and every week it would rotate. And you had your chore in the morning and your chore in the evening, so every room got cleaned twice a day. The kitchen got cleaned 3 times, once after every meal. And then if we had dessert later in the night, it would get cleaned again then. I mean, the houses looked like they were out of a catalog. They were spotless. There was not a speck of dust anywhere. And I think some of the points of having us keep the house that clean was to teach us discipline and also to have pride in our belongings, pride in our living environment and our appearance. First, coming out of treatment, one of the biggest things that was an issue for me was that the treatment center set a really unrealistic expectation for clean roommates. Before treatment, I had only lived with my parents, and then I lived with 3 other roommates for the 6 weeks that I was at college. And those roommates were like really messy. One in particular, she was nasty. She was nasty, filthy. One time she left a package of ground beef. I guess she opened it, realized it was spoiled, and then threw it in the recycling bin. Okay, that's disgusting. But yeah, leaving, I definitely had really high expectations. As I mentioned in a different video, after my residential treatment center, I did go through a transition program, and in those we lived in houses provided by the program, but we didn't live with staff members. But about twice a week they'd come by and do a cleaning inspection just to make sure that we were keeping the place pretty clean. And my roommates in those programs were pretty good at also staying clean because most of them had also come from residential treatment. Since living in Utah, I've had quite a few roommates, and I just learned the hard way that girls, if they're not being monitored by staff 24/7, can get pretty filthy. My roommates at my first dorm in the college that I graduated from, ugh, God, there was like mold growing in I never even stepped foot in the kitchen because they were always cooking and not cleaning. And there would be like mold growing in the kitchen. They wouldn't take out the trash for weeks and it would just be overflowing. Yeah, girls leave their crap all over the place. And at the treatment center, if you left something where it shouldn't be, you got negative points. You were given a consequence. And so it really taught you that discipline of take care of your belongings. Everything has its place, and if it's not being used, it must be in that place. And I really liked the discipline. I really liked living in a house that was so clean, and we all took pride in the cleanliness of the house. We would help each other out with our chores if we needed it, and it was a sense of pride. Yeah, it raised my standards for living conditions, and it's hard to find other people who have those same standards of cleanliness. So to wrap it up, living with girls in a... I wouldn't say living with girls really upset me at all, or it changed my thoughts on attraction towards them or gender identity. It didn't really have an effect on me in that way. But living with girls who all were very clean and took pride in their cleanliness definitely raised my standards, and it was hard to come down from that. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you have any other video ideas, please leave them down in the comments below, and I will see you in my next video. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Bye.